If you have not followed his Triple H Horse Racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Hello and welcome to episode 17 of Great Race Plays right here on the HHH Racing Podcast. I'm your proud host, Howard Kravitz, along with co-host Pete Visco and Paul Halloran, as we're joining you live here this Thursday evening to talk about a fantastic late pick four coming up this Sunday, the weekend before the big one, the Kentucky Derby. And of course, let's not give the Kentucky Oaks short shrift either. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button on the bottom right hand side of the screen, the notification bell on the top right, and smash that like button below the video player. We'd greatly appreciate it. You can listen to us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and Anchor. Fantastic regular power pick tip sheets. ROI continues to go up. We had a very good week last week. Please look below the video player if you are interested in making some money at a very affordable rate. You sign up through Patreon. We also have a great website, hhhracingpodcast.com, which we will visit a little bit later to briefly discuss our exciting Kentucky Derby Oaks Power Pick tip sheet package that is now available. Pete and Paul, how we doing tonight? As we're live here, the NFL draft is going on for people that care. I know some people do, some people don't. The Bears just upgraded their offense with a nice tight end from Michigan. So, of course, Kyle Roscoe is very happy, being a big Michigan fan. How you guys doing tonight?
Not bad. What's up, gentlemen? Paul?
Hello. Yeah, just kind of the calm before the storm.
Yes, absolutely. I'll tell you what, we got a lot of great shows coming up. I'm going to wait on that as well, Pete and Paul. We'll talk about our schedule upcoming as Paul, I'm sure we'll mention how overworked and tired he is because of me, but hey, let me tell you something. He's paid mightily. So,
I know, Pete. 9:30 start tonight. Oh gosh.
Well, sorry.
I'm used to being on air and amped up.
That's right.
It was dragging that last hour. I was like, I don't know what to do with myself for this hour.
Well, I took it easy on you guys last night. You were on for a whopping 18 minutes, I think, last night. So it's all good.
We're locked in, so you still use that adrenaline, and it still sucks the life out of us old guys.
Before we get into late pick four, very quickly, Paul, congrats to you, my friend. 10-1 top pick in the last race last Sunday. I know you cheekily said that resurrected, on Easter, resurrected your bankroll. Nice job, my friend. I can't remember the name of the horse. It was the number 3 horse, though, I know.
Yeah, they said Andy Mathis. They did a paddock interview with him before.
Yeah.
We talked about it. We often, and Pete, you'll appreciate this because we talk about it a lot. We often read too much into the jockey musical chairs, but it finally paid off, Pete. This was a horse that Ricardo Gonzalez, is it Ricardo or Ricky Gonzalez, had ridden like this particular horse 5 times, and he was jumping off to ride this other horse, making his first or second career. It was just a really odd move, and fortunately it ended up. I got to say how this show was paid off twice in the last month with a pretty good last race score to get me out almost for the weekend. I had the late $3 pick 3 there that was okay.
Oh, nice.
So, nice.
That was nice. I think 600 or something, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, it was in that neighborhood.
Nice job. Patrick Lildu is here. What's up, Patrick? Of course, Katie is here. Ralph Conte is here. Good evening, men. Hello. Matt Miller is here. A lot of people in the chat as usual. Let's go ahead and jump into the late pick 4, guys, because it's a challenging sequence. Also should mention tomorrow, Friday, as we're filming, of course, Thursday here. Tomorrow at San Anita, big pick 6 carryover at San Anita tomorrow. So those of you who are sort of big game hunters are going to be very interested in that pick 6 tomorrow. I think it's in the range of 60 or 70,000.
68.
There you go. 68. All right. Well, let's see what we can do, guys, Sunday with the late pick 4. I'm going to bring on the screen right now, and it does not start with the track view. That's the second time I've did that yesterday too. Pete, I got to remember to helpful to bring up the correct banner.
Usually that helps, right? We want to look at the Santa Anita Sunday card.
That, folks.
Race 8. Yes, there you go.
Yes. I had it ready, just didn't have it in the right place, so to speak. Claiming 16, 5.5 furlongs, 3-year-old fillies, and also there is a few 4-year-olds in there as well. Again, claiming tag 16. We do not have morning lines. I thought, guys, this was a difficult sequence in general. I thought this was
Yes.
a very tough sequence. There is a stake race, by the way, the Senorita, but that is in race 7. That is outside of the pick 4, so we're not going to cover that. But I did want to mention that
Tiny
as well.
field too, right? 5 horses or so is a little one.
Yes, and the rails are out 10 feet, not very much. The rails have usually been out further on these Sundays, so on the turf. So perhaps closers might have a better chance. But there's the field right there. Let me go ahead and bring up our banners on the screen after I take off our scrolling banner. And there we go. And here we go right now. I'm going 10-9-1. Paul's going 4-9-3. And Pete is going 1-4-9. So we are quite different here, gentlemen. Paul, let me start with you. And let me just fix this real quick because I'm a little bit sensitive to spaces that shouldn't be there. As a journalist, you can appreciate that. There we go. Paul, you're going to go with autism inspiration for Ayuso, who is a up and coming younger jockey who's had some good wins. I know a big fan. Noah Maher is a big fan of this jock. What do you like about autism inspiration, other than the obvious, which is a very cool name as far as I'm concerned?
Yeah, I swear it's not a hunch play. Although my daughter in the next room, I'm sure will be playing a 4-8 exacta box.
Yeah, two in
race.
the same race. That was a weird
Yeah.
one when I
go.
saw
Johnny
that.
Tabota, although Johnny the 8 got claimed away, but Johnny Tabota is a former Northern Cal owner and has a son with autism, and all his horses have autism in the name. I agree with you, Howard, about the type of race. I thought there were plenty of horses, this one included, who don't necessarily show a propensity for winning. That's part of the condition. If you're 4 or older in this race, you have to have been non-2 lifetime. It's kind of a split condition. You can either be 3 and have won as many races as you want, or 4 and up and not having won 2. As I say, I thought there were several horses in this category. I don't think the 12-5 jump to 16 is appreciable. It is noteworthy that this horse is entered on Friday, so
Yes.
that's he runs Friday. She runs Friday and doesn't run here. I do like the fact that Ayuso rode last time and stays. Noah's guy, Ayuso, who I've been following since Noah brought it up, and is very good. And I just thought, again, in a wide open race, I believe there's going to be some value with this pick. I don't know, Pete. I know you picked her second. I don't know what you think. I think at least 5-1.
Yeah, I probably agree with that too. And it's weird, the horse, that Full Moon Grayson, who beat her in those last 2, just sort of freaked for 2 random races and went nuts and dominated. So you assume those aren't bad losses, but it was just weird when you look at that Full Moon Grayson's PPs. You're like, where the hell did those 2 crazy races come from? But
this is not good. Okay, well, sorry, we'll get back to that. Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah, no, I like this horse too. A little early career seconditis, 3 out of 7, hitting the second spot, but at least for sure that she always seems to give you a race and she gets in the mix. So she's definitely someone. I guess like you said, the move up. I don't think that's much, but it's weird with the Northern California horses. They seem to find their spot and they're really good, and then they try and go up and they lose. So it's hard to judge those sometimes. But yeah, you see that horse, it had like 3 races on the page that are nuts, and then the rest are just kind of bleh. So, but I guess you caught him on your horse, Paul, caught that horse on the wrong 2 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't have this one in the mix. Actually, I have this one as a B. I found this race to be tough. Guys, these lower level horses, and it's been an angle for me that's been pretty good. I just prefer the speed. Just someone's going to go out there, sort of like your last horse, the horse in the last race last week, Paul, for you, which was a lower level race, and the horse just destroyed the field, just went to lead and didn't back up. I'm going to go with Feisty Matoli here. As you guys, the number 10 for Nap and Escobedo, as you guys know, I have mad love for horses coming out of the 1,000 yard Los Al races, and Oh, you can roll your eyes, Paul. I'll tell you what, they actually do okay. This one had the rail. That's a tricky spot going 1,000. I just like the last two efforts before that. 56 buyer, 51 buyer shows a lot of speed. I'm not worried about the distance. This horse has gone 6.5. I think just getting a very simple, tell the jock to break, look to his left, make some decisions. I just think she's very logical here. I'm guessing when to get I don't know, 7-2, 4-1 ish. And then I gave a look to the number 9, Liquid Spirit, another fantastic name. Papadromo can literally pop at any time. This one is dropping down. There are a few guys dropping down from that 32 down to 28 level. Now they're down to 16, cutting the price in half. Only 5 lifetime starts. Nice work last time. Doesn't have to have the lead. Again, I like the comfy outside post for this 3-year-old filly. I think Liquid Spirit is interesting. You guys all have this one in the mix as well.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Because I wasn't sure because Timeform has that as that 9 horse as sort of the speed. So I guess if you like your 10, if the 9 also goes, does that compromise the 10 a bit? Or is the 10 just faster and the 10 will just sort of gun out and get the lead anyway? But that was my thought because I didn't love the 9, but I thought I was with you. Whoever I thought got on the lead is dangerous. I just wasn't 100% sure who that was going to be.
Yeah, it's not an easy race. I'm just going to go with one of the outside speeds and hope they can wire the field, just sit off and go by. Pete and Paul are going with the autism horse, number 4, who's definitely has a shot as well. Let's go on and do race 9, guys. Race 9 is a difficult, interesting main specialty in the turf, 6 furlongs, purse is 60,000. This is for a mishmash of 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, although there are no 5-year-olds in the field. I'll tell you what they are, guys. Now they're interesting horses in here. Not only are there interesting horses, there's some very expensive purchase prices in this race. I'm assuming you guys noticed. Again, we don't have morning lines. I don't even want to guess on who the morning line favorite's going to be. I suppose it could be the number 1, What to Remember for Peter Miller and Anton Georgi. I don't know. We'll see. Here's our picks on the screen. We are all over the place. I'm going 3, 4, 9. Paul's going 6, 10, 9. And Pete also agrees with Paul. He's going to go 6, 3, 1. Pete, I took a look at the 6, Coulaire, 1 of 2 for D'Amato, very carefully for Rispoli. First time start in the U.S., ran in, I believe, Ireland last year, and has been working steadily on the inner Tapeta synthetic training track.
Yeah, I didn't have a super strong opinion in this race. I was a little bit all over the place. And finally I was like, well, who do I want to land on? And I'm like, you know what? D'Amato's been hot at the meet. Rispoli's been hot at the meet. This horse again I was 33-1 in a pretty low level maiden race in Ireland back in June of 24. So we're coming off a pretty long layoff, but I guess I trust D'Amato into the hands of D'Amato. So a foreign shipper off a layoff, if it's going to be anyone out west, I don't mind having D'Amato in that case. And like you said, I just think the works are pretty good. The works are on the synth, but that should translate pretty easily. So I think there's enough works on the page that got me comfortable. And I'm just wondering if maybe this one could show a little bit more speed this time, at least just be in the mix a little bit closer. And in a field that I just didn't think was all that great, where there were no standouts, I thought, hey, I'll take a shot with connections that are hot, with a horse that at least has shown an affinity since they've been here and have been working well. So let me give it a shot. Maybe with D'Amato Rispoli, maybe we don't get the price that you would hope, but I figure maybe this one's a little colder on the board than maybe would normally be with a foreign shipper on the turf like that.
I have a relatively strong opinion on this horse, and it's somewhat obvious based on my top 3. I could be completely wrong, but I will give my opinions after Paul reinforces your opinion, Pete, of Coulaire. Or Paul, you can also talk about the outside horse, the number 10, Helicity, who you have second.
Yeah, I was going to say, Pete, I'm with you. And this is the type of horse where I'll have as an A in the horizontals, but I would predict I would not consider betting a nickel on to win.
Yep.
I think we're going to get really undervalued on the price, and I'm sure that our good uncle who hates our selection, he just hasn't he has to bring up the courage to say it, but he hates our selection. He's going to talk about how the price is going to be one reason he hates our selection, and without regard for our feelings.
I have very
Well-
little hate, Paul. That's a very strong
Well-
word. You know, I'm a man of the people. I'm very friendly.
Well,
You are.
when this horse knocks him out of the pick 4, then we can just laugh at him over text.
Well,
So
he'll be using
that'll
them
be happy
defensively.
enough.
Come on, no, this is like playing Chad and Pratt in New York with a first timer, right? You're going to get, with D'Amato and Rispoli, you're not going to get the price you deserve. But I kind of looked at it like you, Pete. I could make a decent case for several others, but only a decent case.
Yeah.
So similar to you, this is probably a default pick for me. I did throw the other Italian in, Pete. I went with the Italians one too
There's
because
nothing wrong with
I'm with the Paisan power. Rispoli and Fraser got good airtime. I just finished watching the Netflix Race for the Crown series. I thought this horse again 0 for 7. I don't love, but figures to be right in it. So we don't want to talk to it. We want Howard to tell us how bad our 6th selection is. So
I did have that one as my 4th A though, so I'm with you on that 10 as well. I had 4 A's in this one. As like I said, I was a little all over the place.
Let me see here. I'm just looking at the chat. Let's see here. This is a name I'm not sure we've seen. Deralt Corral, I believe. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. I greatly apologize. Are we having tacos or sour grapes today? Whoa, wait a minute. Wow. Okay. Wow. Man. Get
Always
some hate.
tacos.
That's
Tacos.
quite all right. I mean, the smartest person in the chat clearly is Patrick Lildu, who said that 3 is good and 2 is the first that's been working fast. So we'll mention those very quickly, guys. Here's my feeling on Coulair. He can win. I've got him as a B. I've got like the whole field though. I don't know what to do with this race. This is practically an all button. You guys know that I just don't like the all button in general. A few things. And let me talk about the positives first. Yes, D'Amato, Rispoli, fresh face, usually a horse I would like, right? I don't like the fact this horse was 33-1 in a lower level track first time out. I have to admit, I did not watch the replay. A little bit of a host fail. I apologize to everyone, but I will go look at that before I bet. Guys, a time form rating 54? Okay, I know it's okay. 2-year-old in June. I get it. That is very low. I watched 2 of the 3 works, guys. That were the works that were available. He looked fine, but he was getting in the lane. He was getting passed by horses in both works. The 59 handily bullet was only 14 works. I'm always people don't notice that enough. Like there are only 14 horses working. I don't know. Yeah, 59.3 is fast. And the other thing, guys, is I know D'Amato's 4 for 12 in this early spring meet. He's been a bit disappointing with his Euro import first time US horses this year. I don't have a stat on it. I just know that I've seen a lot of them, and a lot of them I've bet and have not won. So okay, maybe I do have a little sour grapes, but I don't know, guys. I'm gonna be a little bit against this one. I think the 3 is a horse that could be tough here. A day to remember. I know one start in 23, a year off, another 9 months off. I get it, but Glatt is sharp. This horse costs 300. That race at Del Mar last summer is clearly good enough to win here. I see a bunch of bullet works, including some at San Luis Rey. If he's ready, I think this American Pharaoh colt could be tough in a race that I just don't love a lot of horses in here. I threw in Hamlin as the other D'Amato guys, like the other Chad. I mean, very slow last year, but turning back off a layoff with also bullet works from Los Al and getting Kimura, right, will be 2 or 3 times the price as your guy's horse? I don't know. In a race I just don't have a strong opinion on, guys. I just don't want to go with a horse that might be the favorite. So you guys are right that price plays into it, but I'm just not so sure how good the number 6 is, to be really honest with you guys. Coulair.
Yeah, well, you'll have to just be upset then when he's rolling by in the lane. But no, I agree with you. If any of these horses,
Pete, I don't know what to make of them. I don't know.
I didn't know what to make of a lot of them. I mean, you thought like the 3. I have that 3 horse in second. I didn't like the fact that the horse couldn't finish well in the last two. Now again, they were a long time
Sure.
ago. So but Glatt's been really good. So I'm
Yep.
hoping for progression in that 3. That's what I was looking for. Is like maybe it's a little more progression now, and that horse might just be better at 4. But
Yeah.
a horse that just kind of run once a year, it's always a weird one too. There's just so many weird ones in this race that I couldn't get a good handle on.
Yes. Love all the people we have in the chat. We have hundreds of people watching at home. Thank you very much. Howard Kravitz, Pete Visco, Paul Halloran, HHH Racing Podcast. Great Race Plays, our weekly Thursday night live show talking about, I love it, Pete, the late pick 4. Those shirts are available on our website. Just send money to Pete Visco. How much do they cost, Pete?
Yeah. Just go to a
Sorry.
little place called Amazon.com, and
Okay.
then
We're not selling those shirts. You're going to get
No.
emails, and we are not selling those shirts,
No.
but I do like them. I'll tell you what is on our website, Pete. Very quickly, talk about the Derby Oaks package that we have. Let me bring up the banner for that, of course, because those are selling very well, and it's very affordable, very profitable. There's the banner. Here's the website. Go ahead and talk about it real quick, Pete.
Yeah, if you look on the top of the screen there, or just go to Power Picks tip sheets, and if you click on that, and you see Kentucky Derby Oaks Power Picks. Again, all the information you need is on the page in those FAQs. How do you subscribe? What do you get? And again, you're getting basically full card picks for the Oaks and Derby Day. So you get 2 individual power pick sheets, and it's going to cover everything. And the deadline, as Howard is highlighting right there before our listeners, the deadline for subscribing is basically 11:59 Wednesday, April 30th. So by the end of night Wednesday, April 30th, have your subscription done. And the key is if you subscribe and you use Venmo or PayPal, and it says this in the FAQs, make sure you put in that it's for the Derby Power Picks, so Howard knows which one you're trying to purchase. And as he's showing on the screen here, this is an example of our Kentucky Oaks tip sheet from last year, where we gave out the wonderful Torpedo Anna before she became a super duper star. So you can look there, you could see there's tons of stuff, best bets, all the stakes races, ABC grids, price plays, spot plays, horizontals, everything you could possibly want. So book it today.
Yes, please look into that. And much less expensive than most tip sheets out there that usually can range 70, 80, 90, whatever. We're charging half that.
Real quick.
So,
and if you're part of Team HHH, you don't need to subscribe. You get it already. But if you're a standard Power Pick subscriber, you still have to order for that, but it's at a reduced price.
Yes, and I sent out an email clarifying that to our Power Pick
subscribers right?
today.
Yep.
Yep. Nice shot, Pete. Thank you. Race 10, claiming 5,000. They're going a mile. Again, one of these Northern California restricted races. Big field of 10 with an AE Royster, the number 11. Movie Time has lost some. He's a gelding, but that maybe that'll help him. We'll see. The number 9. I'm going 6, 7, 8. Look at this. Paul's going 6, 1, 7. Pete's going 6, 5, 7. We're all going with Runnin' Ute, a Calbred. My only concern here, he's clearly the fastest, Paul. The distance. I mean, but this field is not overly inspiring. I think he'll just go out there and maybe wire the field. If someone presses him early, though, I think he is vulnerable. He's just one of those. He's like journalism. And people at home are saying Howard has lost his marbles. He's comparing journalism to a 5-claimer. All I'm saying is he's the most likely winner in the race. I'm not sure you want to take a low price on him in this situation. That's all I'm saying on the win end.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point on the distance. I do think, though, there is a chance that he does get, a relatively easy lead and is able to open up some distance without putting up ridiculous fractions. I guess that's the best way I'd put it. Certainly, that's what we're hoping. And he's right at this level. He wins at this level. Certainly he did up north, and he just got nailed on the line last time. Frey stays. So yeah, again, this is a $5,000 claim, folks. So to proceed with caution, as they say when you're driving over railroad tracks.
I do want to mention also our great friends at DRF, who we are now partnered with the Daily Racing Forum. They have an excellent tip sheet as well. Please go to the DRF website, go to their store. They have workout reports. They have a lot of fantastic information for the Derby and the Oaks as well. Check out the Daily Racing Forum for all of their information, and shout out to them for our new partnership with Daily Racing Forum for at least the next few months. We greatly appreciate their support as well. Pete, I don't know if you want to add anything to Running Ute, or you can talk about the number 5 right next door also, Contrary Chieftain.
Yeah, the only thing on Running Ute, I liked what I agree with everything Paul said. Two back at this level was able to get that win and then got run down last time. But now I like coming back to this level. Maybe that's just where he's comfortable. And like he said, if he can get on the top. Yeah, Contrary Chieftain, I just, this is another one. Actually, it's sort of a similar comment. If you look at two back and three back at this level, was pretty good, especially two back. You get the nice 67 buyer, 8, nice decent time form number. Moved up a bit, was terrible last out, but what was checked and was sort of, I think, didn't have the greatest of trips in the world. And now we're getting back to the level where this horse was successful. So I think we talk about it a lot with the Northern California ones, they don't know exactly where to put them when they get here. And sometimes they find a spot and they do well, or sometimes they shoot a little high, apologies, and then they have to drop them down to find their spot. Maybe this is just his spot as well. So now that 5 and 6 are where they're supposed to be. So
I went outside for my horses underneath the Running Ute. Super Mazel. I don't know where that last race came from, but look, if this one gets first run on the others, guys, and sits off a Running Ute, and maybe he's just an improved horse, I don't see why Super Mazel can't win. I don't think he's without the realm of possibility. A 7-year-old by Palace Malice out of a Giants Causeway mare. Orantes is definitely capable. And then Touch of Zen is sort of an underneath horse. I don't love this horse, but I do have a lot of respect for Steve Miotti, and I just threw that one in third. I guess my opinion here is I'd probably single on a I'd probably spread in the other 3 races. We don't talk about our pick 4 tickets very often here, but if I could recommend to people out there, I would single. I'd be comfortable singling Running Ute in a pick 4, but I would use others in a backup. I would assume you guys agree the same.
yeah, I was more of a 5-6. I was more stick with the 2
Whoever
and then
else.
just get rid of the rest. Yeah, I do have to comment though before we move on. We talked. Paul, you talked about the exacta, the autism exacta, and the other one. If my dad is watching, which who knows if he's checking in this week, he's got a nice hunch play combo. Chief Jackson, my son's name is Jackson, and what's the other one? Little brother Joey. My little brother is named Joseph. So my dad plays both of those generally. So I assume he will have that exacta, and I think it would probably pay pretty decent because I don't think Chief Jackson's going to be very low. And little brother Joey, he's one of yours, Howard. He runs a lot of those thousand yarders, and he came over and won last time at 4-1. So he had 3 straight 1,000-yard races. Comes over at a mile, holds on, wins by a nose. So that's right up your alley.
All right, I like that.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of brothers, my brother's birthday was yesterday. So late happy birthday to my brother Michael.
Happy birthday, Michael.
Turned 52 and will always be younger than me, and I always remind him of that by approximately 16 months. So anyway, but happy birthday to my brother Mike. Okay, if there was my brother Mike in a race, I'd probably bet him, but there is not. Let's go to the last race, guys. Again, this race. Oof, I'll tell you what. I just if Running Ute loses, I think this pick 4 could pay huge. I really do, because I think this is extremely difficult. Let's go to that last race, guys, right now on the card. It's a mile turf. It is for maiden. It is for Calbreds and 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. 126 pounds for many of them. Some of them are at 118 if they are 3-year-olds. Very big field of 14, 3 AEs in the race. Let's see how we're going to close out the late pick 4 at the Great Race Place on Sunday. This is how tough it is, folks. We got 3 different horses on top. We each have horses like none of the other 2 people have at all. I've got 627 Paul is 2-1-4, and Pete is 11-10-7. Whoa. All right. Well, let's start with the 2, Paul. Zagrus, I believe. I apologize on the name pronunciation. Leonard Powell, there's our guy Ayuso again. We don't have morning lines, of course, but is definitely going to take some money. A 3-year-old who raced very well up close last time. I have this one second. You have this one winning, sir.
Yeah, I thought there were 4 logical winners in the race. If I had to narrow it down, the 1, 2, 4, and 11. And when I came down to it, I thought the 4, especially the 1 to less of a degree, and even the 11, have had some chances and been right there, but haven't closed the deal. So I went with a fresher face. The Sir Prancelots are really, really running, especially on turf. This horse is obviously turf bred up and down. Leonard Powell is a very good trainer. You can see his numbers in this situation with second off the layoff 20%, adding Lasix 27. You mentioned Howard, our guy Ayuso. He stays. Got to think he got an education out of that race, and hopefully, he wasn't cranked all the way last time, and he certainly has the right to move forward second off that layoff. And I think if he moves forward even marginally off that race, he's going to be very tough in here.
Paul, I'm going to show the stretch run. I'd love for you to give a little analysis. We haven't shown a replay yet, and we're definitely, all of us are visual handicappers. 2, 3, 6, 7 in this race all come back on Saturday. Again, 2, 3, 6, 7. Let me go ahead and fast forward to the stretch. Tell us what you see here and your general opinions. You see the horse we like on the lead.
Yeah, you're going to see him, act like a young horse at some point, right? In the stretch.
Yes.
He's okay here. He straightens him out good, but now he's going to drift off the rail a little bit. He's being hit with the left-hand stick, straightens him out again there. Nothing major. It just, I don't know. He didn't look very fluid to me there, and he didn't get beat by much. So I really think that he takes a pretty good step forward off that.
I agree, and I thought the 2 and 6 sort of looks better on paper. When I say the 2 and 6, the 2 and 6 in this replay look better on paper than they were. They just sort of, here we go, Matt Miller. You get your wonderful words, clunked up in that race. Meanwhile, I thought our horse had to do a little more of the dirty work and got pressed late and was a little bit goofy in the lane. I think that was this horse's only second start. Do I remember that correctly?
Yep. Yes.
I've already looked at a lot of yes. So should improve. Hadn't raced since November. I agree with you, Paul, on that. Paul also mentioned the 1 Anon. Boy, I'll tell you what, this gelding's had a lot of chances. Well, not a lot, but six starts. Not really improving. Not my cup of tea, but it's a pretty wide open field and it has shown ability to close, Paul, in a race that does look like it has some speed in it. So I wouldn't toss out Anon. Hector Barrios, that's a pretty big jockey switch. I mean, I like Giovanni Franco, but Barrios, one of the best turf riders out west. I suppose you can make one of the arguments, one of the better turf riders in the country at this point, which is amazing to say because I remember when he was a young jock riding at Gulfstream, and as you would say, I wouldn't bet him at gunpoint back in the day, but he's become a very solid jock. So credit to him and his improvement. I have the 6 on top, which I want to go to right now. 2, 3, 4, 5. That'd be Winning Patriot, guys. I think this is just a case of I don't love a lot of horses. And if that's correct, Luis Saez, I don't know. That's weird. I'd love to know what's going on there, unless that's a typo. I mean, so that
what is Luis Saez doing there on Sunday after riding at Churchill Saturday night?
I don't know. There's got to be a story here,
is he in the stake? Is there a stake earlier?
There is. The 7th.
There is. I don't know. He must be in that stake, actually. Well, we should take a look because we are hosting and co-hosting.
Yeah, he is.
He's got the favorite,
he's got Chloe. Okay, well,
there
you go.
Yeah,
yeah, but he wouldn't travel across the country for a $100,000 stake, would he?
Well,
I don't know. Weird and good as far as I'm concerned. He's sticking around anyway. He's sticking around. Winning Patriot has got some breeding. I think this horse is going to show speed. Again, 5 of the 8. foals were winners out of the dam. Super Patriot was a very nice horse, guys. If you recall, for Baltus, won over 370,000. Ohm was very fast. Bullet works. I think there's something here, guys. I know the horse is only 4 years old. That's a negative to me, but very interesting first time starter in a race where there's a lot of horses I'm not so sure about. Pete, you're gonna go to the outside with the 11. Is that Miles Finch? I'm assuming, right?
Yep.
You're gonna go Miles Finch for Sadler and JJ.
Yeah, I like they're another combination, Hernandez and Sadler, who both are respectively pretty hot at this meet. And I do think that one thing that I like, and you talked about the 2, Paul, as maybe kind of a speed horse here. I thought Miles Finch has enough speed from this outside post, has enough speed to break well. And you see Hernandez has ridden the horse twice, Pratt twice. So he probably generally thought of pretty decent. And it is Sadler too, so I'm sure that helps. But I thought that Hernandez here can sort of just break well, get up in the mix and sort of decide, do I let is the 2 going to go? Do I want to go? Because I can go to the lead or I can sit off. And I thought after a little bit of a layoff, Sadler's pretty good off that really short, like 60 to 70 day layoff. So I thought there was enough to like here, and they're hot enough to where this horse always runs his race. He just can't finish him. But it's not like any of these other ones obviously have finished a race yet either.
I sort of feel like he needs to clear, and that might not be easy from the outside, Pete, but I suppose he could. The Time Fortin's got him sitting off of the 2 horse, which is Paul's top choice. One of those horses is going to need a relatively clear lead, which is sort of why I didn't put either one of them on top. I felt like they both sort of need the lead to win. I could be wrong.
I'm hoping he doesn't. That was my hope. But again, you're sort of wishing and hoping on something to happen that hasn't really happened yet. But my hope is that he doesn't need the lead and he can sit off. The one I just want to talk about real quick. Yeah, and you're on is that 10 Harbor Code. Yeah. Carly Gaines, who's trains your horse, the first time starter.
Yes,
she's actually much better with the second time starters. She goes from like 8% to, I forget what the percentage. She's second time starts on the, second time
that
starts.
Number's always weird. Go ahead, Pete. I'm going to look it up exactly.
But honestly, second time starts on the turf in the past year. She's 4 for 11 wins, 8 for 11 in the money. Took money on a little bit of money on debut. Not a ton, was still 9-1, but at least took a little bit of money. Was bumped a little bit, so maybe it was just thrown off, first time start. And what I'm looking for from this horse is just, hey, is she just better with a second time starter when she can get one under their belt? And if you look at the works since then, you get a 2 out of 74, 47, a 9 out of 88, a minute going 5, and then a 46 and 3, second out of 93. So this horse might just be her thing. And maybe because that first one wasn't great, you get a little bit more of a price just because that debut race just doesn't look that good on paper. So I kind of like this one as hopefully a little bit of a price horse who just seems to be maybe trending in the right direction.
Interesting. 16%, by the way, was the number last 5 years, Pete.
Yeah.
Second time starters on turf. I could be overthinking this, and Paul already talked about the jockey musical chairs. I just feel like wouldn't Saez be on the better one?
Most likely.
Carly Gaines horse, right?
Yeah. But my wonder is if maybe that's the better one long term, but maybe not first out. Because I had that horse as an A. I had your horse as an A as well.
Sure.
On the Ohm, I think was like 0-15 on turf routes. So it was enough to turn me just a touch off.
Boy, that horse was really fast. I liked watching Ohm run. Paul, let's go to our best bets. Your best bets go to race 8 with the $3 pick 3. You're in a single 4 with 610 with 1/6. That's only $12. And the 4, I believe, is the wonderfully named Autism horse, correct?
Yeah, but that's not the you don't have to play that one for 3 because there are 11 races.
Oh, correct. That is actually not the correct.
But I would play it for more than $1 with only 4 horses. 5 horses.
I apologize. The $3 pick 3 starts in race 9, but we can play any race for $3 though, or any pick 3
Correct.
for $3.
Yeah. But Howard, forget this. We've stumbled on to the best bet. Churchill is not running Sunday. I just checked, so it's not like Saez is leaving Churchill. But he is still flying across the country to ride this horse in 100. This horse is an absolute lock, the Chloe.
I wonder if he thinks that one maybe has a pretty big future, Paul.
Well,
And maybe he wants to stay with it now.
He's going to take a red eye to fly out there for $100,000 race, Pete.
Yeah.
That's my. He is 21% for D'Angelo over the last 5 years. So
nice.
I still find it weird, but I hope. Look, I mean, I have nothing negative. I just find that bizarre. But anyway. Pete, your best bet. You're going to do two of them. Race 8, a pick 4, 149 with 13610 with 5-6 with a very spready 2, 6, 7, 10, 11. That is $60. And then in the 10th race specifically, you're going to exact a box the 5-6. That is running Ute with the 5-horse sort of speed closer kind of situation there for you.
Yeah, I like to see the odds. I mean, when without morning lines, if that was like super chalky, it wouldn't, maybe you'd figure out a better way.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, if you bet enough on it and it pays like 6, 7, 8 to 1, I'll take it.
I'm going to make this very simple. I'm going to play the $5 double, and they do have a $5 double. I'll show a little advertisement for that in just a moment here. I'm not totally sold on running Ute. We talked about it. I'm going to go 3 deep there. I'm going to go 6, 7, 8, and then I'm going to go 2, 6, 7, including the Carla Gaines firster. The 2 is a speed horse, and the 7's a bit of a closer. So I got a mishmash there. Maybe Carla Gaines will not win with the first-time starter. I just find it very interesting. The Louis Saez sticks around for the last race and is on a firster for a gal that does not have great numbers first time out. Maybe this one is pretty good. So we'll see. Should be very interesting. I'll tell you guys what also is very good, as I already mentioned, is the $5 late double. The betting menu at Santa Anita, the great race place, is just outstanding. We've been talking about it ad nauseum since we've had the great race plays show in late December. Let's take a look at that late daily double and the $3 pick 3 right now.
Now offered at the Great Race Place. $3 late pick 3 featuring the last 3 races. $5 late double on the last 2 races. Both with a player-friendly 15% takeout. Every race day at Santa Anita Park.
There we go. So a lot of bets to play. Of course, there's a pick 6 tomorrow, gentlemen. Carryovers. We're filming this Thursday night. Also, I should mention, as I bring up the closing banner and wrap up the show, guys, I thought the Pacific Horse Players, gentlemen, did a great job on Tuesday with the late pick 5 at Santa Anita on Saturday. But also they talked about the California horses in the Derby. We're going to talk about all of them on Sunday night. So very quickly with what's upcoming. Saturday night, we are live for the Derby and Oaks draw. The show it starts at 7:15 Eastern. Our show starts at 7 o'clock on Saturday. Then Sunday, myself, Pete, Paul, and a few others, we're going to talk about the top 10 Derby horses. You do not want to miss that. It's live. We're going to go through a good 4 or 5 minutes on each of the top 10 horses according to most of the morning lines makers right now. And then we just have an incredible plethora of shows next week. You got to subscribe to our YouTube channel to find out when our shows are and hit the notification bell. Both those things would help you tremendously. Gentlemen, final thoughts as we are approaching Big Derby Oaks week.
Well, you got this pick 4 sequence to make your bankroll for
Absolutely.
Oaks and Derby Day. So let's hit these races and put some money in our pockets, or I should say in our accounts for our Oaks and Derby bets.
Paul, anything?
Yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to the draw Saturday night. We talked with Matt Bernier a little bit about it the other night. A little differing opinions. I do think it's very important in the Derby. Just because of the potential for it to be really negative. You watch that race for the crown, and Dornock, who won the Belmont Stakes, he was done 3 strides into the Derby. If you get the rail and don't break, I don't care. They can get 27 new starting gates. If you don't break from the inside, you're screwed every way till Sunday. So Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I've been up every morning watching the show, with the workout show, taking notes. I have double duty starting tomorrow because FanDuel is going to have their own show on at Churchill starting tomorrow. So
Yeah.
I'll have to watch both the Churchill Downs production and the FanDuel. But it's educational. You just it's not really workouts per se. All the serious works are done minus a few, but you just get to compare horses, how they look on the track day after day. And yeah, I think that's my favorite part of it is actually the build up, because as we know, the race has a good opportunity to go south when people like Rich Strike win it. So
Hey, Howard, can I get Paul riled up for 30 seconds if you don't
I
mind?
know you're going to
Please,
say.
Do you want to give a 30-second rant, Paul, on the Hall of Fame real quick, since
Peace.
it's fresh on your mind?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
let's go ahead.
And look at it. This is all subject. Obviously, it's subjective by nature, right? People have to vote, but this is in all honesty, I think this is only my second year voting, so I kind of, I don't want to be the new kid on the block who melts off, but the system is broken. 157 people voted out of 171. And to get in, you need 50% plus one. So you needed 79 votes. There were 16 finalists between horses, contemporary horses, trainers, and jockeys. Only one jockey, several trainers, and a slew of horses. One of the 16 got in, Smarty Jones. Now, it's really ironic for me because I love Smarty Jones. I love the story. There's a tremendous documentary. You should go online and watch it. Really well done. He was one of the ones I didn't vote for after careful deliberation, because I think he was just a little shy, never ran against older horses. But that's the problem is not Smarty Jones getting in. The problem is 1 out of 16 human horses, trainers, jockeys, horses getting in. I have no idea what people thinking. I think it's probably a case of people taking themselves in the game a little too seriously and thinking, you got to be secretariat or ruffian to get in. Well, you really don't, because Calvin Burrell is in. No disrespect to Calvin. Okay, so
On the bottom, Marco, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can you read it and answer the question that Marco Lou had?
Yeah, I don't. Well, yes, yeah. There is a historical committee that I think takes them. You can age out. I'm not sure what it's at. I know you have to be, for a horse, they have to be retired 5 years. Trainers can still be active. Obviously, Bill Mott's been in the Hall of Fame for like 30 years. He's still training, but yeah, it's a broken. This happened 2 years ago. When there's you have an induction and there's no humans there to be inducted. There's, Arthur B. Hancock III is a pillar of the turf. That's like a category they have. Richard Tan Brock, the owner of Lexington. Congrats, Kim Wickens. So but it's a broken system. If Smarty Jones, blind luck, Groupie Doll, don't get me started with Groupie Doll. I had the story already in the works with Buff Bradley. Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint 2 years in a row, second to the boys in the Cigar Mile by a nose. Just rags to riches, a female to win the Belmont. The list, and then Clement, Howard, you commented on. I'm not saying rags to riches should be in. I'm just saying correct, but and I didn't vote for her either. But
Clement is I don't know. Don't get me started, Pete. I'll start ranting myself.
Paul, it's not. It's not. The votes are in public, are they, Paul?
Which is also a problem. So our Eclipse votes, everything is publicized by anyone on our side, the National Turf Riders and Broadcasters. Everyone's vote in every category is publicized. This is not, and I suspect what you would see if it were is, I shouldn't be talking about old people because I'm old, but I think there are people that are probably living in the 70s, and everyone's got to be secretariat, and we're not going to have another one. So I was listening. You should go back and listen to Steve Bick today. It was announced on his show live by Brian Boudier from the Hall of Fame. Does a great job, by the way. And Steve was like, he couldn't talk. He was in shock that when he said Smarty Jones is the only contemporary inductee, among horses, trainers, jockeys. It was like Steve's like, well, what do you mean? Who else? No one else. So I mean, Pat Chapman, Mrs. Chapman, God love her. Smarty, I have no issue with Smarty Jones, as they say. The only reason I didn't vote for him is I thought there were others way more deserving. I have no issue with him. I'm glad he got in. But yeah, this system is broken. Let's leave it at that, because to go 1 for 16, there was some, and Clement wasn't the only one, Howard. You can make a pretty good case for some other. Look at Doug O'Neill's resume pretty closely, with how, derbies and now World Cups, and, he travels, and, I could make a good case for Graham Motion, so it's a broken system, unfortunately. And I think this was so ridiculous that it's going to prompt change.
Well, don't worry. Horse racing is pretty good about getting together, doing the right thing, putting their heads together and making smart decisions. So I'm sure everything will be rectified pretty quickly.
Oh, boy. Always good to end with a Pete Visco sarcasm, which is actually
thanks for letting me get Paul riled up, though. Yeah, thanks for letting me get Paul riled up, though. I didn't want that to pass and wait till next week and we forget about it.
No, I appreciate that. Paul, thanks for your thoughts on the Hall of Fame. For Pete Visco, Paul Halloran, it's been your host, Howard Kravitz, episode 17 of Great Race Plays. Crush your bets this Sunday, and heck, in the Pick 6 tomorrow, Friday at San Anita also, if you're playing that. Take care, everyone. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
If you have not followed his Triple H Horse Racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.